Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace and blessings and light of Allah Almighty, of our Creator be with you, with myself, with our entire community, and with humanity. Welcome, brothers and sisters. This is Ihsan. I am the founder and creator of Soul of Islam Radio, as well as the Border Point Spiritual Excellence Education Portal. Allah Almighty, our Lord, our Creator, God, the one God, says in the Holy Quran that He has created you, referring to human beings, male and female, men and women. We live in incredibly unusual times where this has become a controversial topic, where manhood and masculinity and womanhood and femininity have in a sense become taboo topics. Again, Allah Almighty created us male and female, each with unique and distinctive gifts, qualities, traits, characteristics, and also roles and responsibilities. This entire universe is based in balance. It's meant to be based in harmony. And we as human beings have the choice, the opportunity to choose harmony and to choose balance. And it will always take sincerity, humility, and faith. In modern culture's strange attempt to erase, to destroy lines that distinguish and differentiate between the masculine and the feminine, it's now essential, it's now necessary. It's critical for us to begin entering into this conversation and acknowledging it and standing for truth. As believers, as people of faith from all religions, all traditional faith-based religions, we must say the truth. We must have the courage to stand for what is haqq. Now, modern culture has taken an all-out assault for the last few decades, increasingly so, to this point, on manhood and masculinity, to the degree in which, most recently, the American Psychological Association has come to designate traditional masculinity as a psychological disorder. Now, this is incredible. Modern culture will have us begin to think and believe that classical traditional masculinity and manhood is toxic and ultimately a disorder, whereas not very long ago, other conditions were in psychological diagnoses considered disorders are now being pushed as normal. And those who may have a different opinion, an opinion about any of these things, who disagree with this new established narrative, are the ones that are being labeled as having a disorder, as being so-and-so phobic. A phobia is a disorder. A phobia is an irrational disorder. That's actually being applied to people, to human beings who simply disagree with an emerging narrative that is actually not based in truth, reality, or science. At the root of this problem is the attack on manhood and masculinity. And as Muslims, we must stand for the truth. We must stand for what Allah Almighty has established. He established the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine, and these are meant to be complementary, not in competition, not competitive, but cooperative, in harmony, seeking to establish harmony. And that is what leads us to peace, to prosperity, to health, to happiness, to paradise. So hopefully to somehow begin to address this topic in a positive and a constructive fashion, we recently did an episode on Soul of Islam Radio entitled Sacred Manhood and Masculinity. And this is an interview or discussion that I had with a good friend, Jamil Popatia, who we actually interviewed a few years ago on Soul of Islam Radio on the subject of nonviolent and compassionate communication. He's a certified NVC trainer, nonviolent communication trainer, leads workshops, and also does coaching. And in our personal conversations, this topic has been coming up increasingly as a necessity for us as believers to help bring ourselves, our community, our culture back into balance. So this is a brief, short video just to let you guys know that we have a new episode on the topic in Soul of Islam Radio, and I will have the link in the description below this video. I pray that you approach the topic and the content with an open mind, a sincere heart, and that Allah Almighty guides you and myself, all of us inshallah ta'ala, to goodness and to truth, to that which leads to His presence and to His pleasure. Brothers and sisters, we're not living for this world, and this life is temporary, very short. Our time here is to be spent preparing for akhirah, preparing for eternity, to live our lives in a way that has been established by God, by Allah Almighty, to humble ourselves, to submit, to surrender, and to follow in the footsteps of the prophets and messengers of God. That is the path that leads to success, both here and hereafter. All of our failures in life are a result of us forgetting who we are and why we are here. What is the purpose of our creation? Why did Allah Almighty create us? It's certainly not for the life of just this world. Yes, there is value in there, there is importance in it, but never at the expense of eternity. We as believers, especially as Muslims, must restructure and structure our lives so as to lead towards the pleasure of God in the footsteps and in the way of the prophets and messengers of God. May Allah Almighty guide us to what's pleasing to Him into the roles that He has created us for, each of us with unique gifts, unique qualities, unique characteristics, unique traits, and unique value, unique purpose. May He Almighty guide us to serve Him in the way that is pleasing to Him. So beloved brothers and sisters, do check out the most recent episode on Soul of Islam Radio, and you can help support this channel, this mission, by subscribing to these channels. YouTube is now heavily slanted, and all social media platforms are heavily slanted towards sensationalism, clickbait, and topics that are not particularly conducive to our growth, to our spirituality, to the health and well-being of our souls. Support positive channels. Support this channel by subscribing and by liking these videos, by sharing with others. And I pray that Allah Almighty reward you, bless you, support you, strengthen and sustain you and your loved ones to your divine and eternal success. Fi amanullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.